This is the continuation of our lessons for ratio and proportion. So we already know what a ratio is and what are the equivalent ratios. It will be followed by the understanding of proportion. Now, what is a proportion? Proportion is a statement expressing the equality of two ratios. So pag ang dalawang ratio, inequate natin, ang expression na yon ay tinatawag na proportion. So, meron tayong dalawang form. So, fraction form, ibig sabihin dalawang fraction na equated. Then, meron din tayong tinatawag na using colon or the colon form, dalawang ratio na naka-colon form at equated to each other. So, that is proportion. So, dalawang ratio na equated. Okay? Now, by understanding proportion, alamin natin yung parts ng bawat terms included in the ratio and proportion. So una, binanggit natin na ang pag multiply ang A at D, so tinatawag naman siyang extremes. Now, binanggit din natin na minumultiply natin ang B at C, tinatawag siyang means. So ibig sabihin, B and C are called means, while A and D are called extreme. So, tandaan yung pwesto ng A, B, C, and D. So, A is to B, then C is to D. B and C nasa loob, A and D nasa labas. Now, gagamitin natin ito para i-define yung property ng proportion. So, extremes means property of proportion. So, masasabi nating proportion ang dalawang ratio kung it satisfies this property. So, if A over B is equal to C over D is a proportion and B is not equal to 0 and D is not equal to 0, so ibig sabihin bawal mag-0 ang denominator, which are B and D. Then, the product of the means B times C is equal to the product of the extremes, which is A times D. So parang kinross multiplication natin, A times D is equal to B times C. A and D are extremes, B and C are means. Okay? So pag kinonvert natin siya into colon, yung pinakita natin kanina, A is to B is equals to C is to D. So makikita natin, B and C are means, A and D are extremes. Now, gagamitin natin itong extremes mean property para mag-solve ng different problems involving proportions. Okay? So example number 1, determine if the ratios 35 over 91 and 20 over 52 form a proportion. So bali, parang sinasabi na 35 is to 91 and 20 is to 52. So dalawang ratio, paano ba natin siya masasabing proportion? Okay, the solution will be, we're going to use the extremes means property. So, ibig sabihin, kukunin ng product ng extremes, kukunin din ng product ng means at i-equate. So, sa form na to, ito ang first ratio, ito ang second ratio. Alam natin yung 35 at saka 52 ay extremes. So, that is 35 times 52. Then, alam natin na ang 91 at 20 ay means. So, that is 91 times 20. So, pag kinuha natin yung product nila at equal sila, masasabi natin na itong dalawang ratio na to ay proportion. So, makikita natin, 35 times 52 is 1,820. Ang 91 times 20 is also 1,820. So equal sila. Therefore, 35 is to 91 and 20 is to 52 form a proportion. So that is how we use the extreme means property para ma-determine kung ang dalawang ratio ay proportion. Next, example number 2. Solve for the value of x in the proportion 3 is to x is equal to 5 is to x plus 4. So we're going to use the extremes means property. So again, kukunin natin yung product ng extremes, kukunin natin yung product ng means, at i-equate sila. So sa form na to, so ang extremes natin, 3 and x plus 4. Yan. Next, ang means naman natin ay x and 5. So what we're going to do is kahit alin ang mauna dyan as long as i-equate natin. So nauna yung means which is x times 5 is also 5x. Then nasa kanan naman yung extremes 3 times x plus 4. So para lang tayong nagso-solve ng rational equation before sa general mathematics. So it is also the concept of proportion kung tig-isang expression lang naman sa kanan at kaliwa. Next. So isimplify na natin para ma-solve natin yung value ng x. So mariretain ang 5x, pero yung 3 i-multiply sa x, 3x, then yung 3 i-multiply sa 4 which is 12. So magiging 3x plus 12. Now, combine like terms, i-combine natin itong 3x sa 5x. So pag nilipat natin siya, magiging negative. 5x minus 3x is equal to 12. So retain ng 12 sa kanan. 5x minus 3x is 2x is equal to 12. So kailangan lang natin value ng x. Kaya divide both sides by 2. Therefore, x is equals to 6. Meaning to say, the value of x in this proportion is 6. Okay? So kung i-check natin yan, isa-substitute natin yung value ng x. So we have the checking. 3 over 6 is equals to 5 over 6 plus 4. 3 over 6 is equals to 5 over 10. So kahit makita nyo magkaiba yan, kung parehas naman sila ng lowest term, magiging equal din sila. So ito ay equivalent ng 1/2 sa lowest term. Ito rin ay magiging 1/2 pag lowest term. Therefore, equal pa rin siya and the value of 6 is correct. Now, let's have another example. We have example number 3. A man wants to invest some of his savings in a portfolio where the ratio of the amount invested in bonds to the amount of invested in stocks is 3:1. So, ibig sabihin, unang binanggit yung amount sa bonds, so that is 3. Pangalawa yung amount sa stocks, which is 1. So, the ratio of the amount invested in bonds to stocks is 3:1. Now, if the amount invested in bonds is 250,000 pesos more than the amount invested in stock, determine the amount of each investment. So una, i-represent muna natin yung isa pang ratio. So meron na tayong unang ratio which is 3:1. So tandaan, ito ay bonds, ito ay stocks. So ang sabi, ang bonds is 250 more than the amount of stocks. So we're going to represent the amount invested in stocks as X. And then, mas madami ng 250,000 doon ang nasa bonds. Okay? Ngayon, ang magiging another ratio natin is amount ng bonds, which is X plus 250,000 is to the amount in stock, which is X. So tandaan, nandito ang bonds, kaya ito yung bonds. Nandito yung stocks, kaya ito yung stocks. Okay? So, kung gagawin natin siya ng fraction form, 3/1 is equal to X plus 250,000 over X. Now, gamitin natin yung extreme means property. Alam natin na ito ay 3 at saka X ay extremes. So, that is 3X. Pag minultiply, then ang 1 at saka X plus 250,000 are means. Pag minultiply, same lang. X plus 250,000. Now, combine natin yung like terms. X, ilipat natin sa kabila, magiging negative para ma-combine sa 3X. Then, mareretain yung 250,000 sa left. So, that is 250,000 is equals to 3X minus X. 3X minus X is 2X equals to 250,000. Divide both sides by 2. The value of X is 125,000. So that is the amount invested in the stocks rather. Kasi yung sabi, X. Ang value ng X is 125,000. So ito yung amount sa stock. Now, ang amount invested naman sa bonds, di ba ni-represent natin ng X plus 250,000, substitute lang natin 125,000 plus 250,000. That is 375,000 pesos. So, the amount invested in stock is 125,000. The amount invested in bonds is 375,000 pesos. So, this is how we apply the extreme means property of proportion para mag-solve ng mga ganitong problem.